I guess that was like a girl being like, anytime you're being mean to yourself, just think this is who you're talking about. And then it flashes to like a photo of her as a kid. Yes. And so me and my therapist were talking about something similar, and she was like, why don't you find like a photo of yourself and put it on your bathroom mirror so that every morning, every night, every day when you walk into your bathroom mirror, you're looking at her and you're remembering that if there's anything negative that you're ever saying about yourself, if you're ever being mean to yourself, you're talking about her.
There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Alone is just a fact and that we can embrace and make decisions about. Loneliness has got an emotional charge to it, and that's very much a matter of perception. You can be alone and not be lonely, and you can be surrounded by all kinds of people and be completely lonely. So that depends, how open am I? How vulnerable am I really willing to be? What defenses have I erected around myself to protect myself that keeps me from really contacting other people?
What is a message you want to leave behind?
That there is so much potential in everybody, and we need to unlock that potential, break down the barriers and the biases there so we just can unlock all that amazing potential.
This quote by Russell Barkley where he said, people who need the most love ask for it in the most unloving ways.
Absolutely.
What is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
To ask yourself, is this of my concern? Right? I'm going to break it already, but I really think that phrase is one of the most important things you can hang on to. There's a great power in being able to say, that's none of my concern. It's more polite than saying I don't care. It's more truthful than saying it's nothing to do with me. Because sometimes it will be to do with you. But is it of your concern?
Number one thing I hear is like, most people don't chase their dreams because they're scared of what their mates will say, let alone what the world will say.
What the world will say.
Yeah, like I had this late, I was flying back last night, as I was telling you. So I was on a plane from DC to London last night, and the air hostess, she was wonderful. Her name was Jeanette. She said to me, she was like, Jay, I really want to start a YouTube channel, but you know, you just got to block out what your friends are going to say, right? And she was just worried about it. So that it's a very real thing.
The world doesn't care how many times you get knocked down, so long as it's one less than the amount of times you get back up again.
There's a quote I love that I used in actually my high school graduation speech. It was by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it ends by saying, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, that is to have succeeded. And sometimes there isn't the right thing to say. I mean, it's also like when someone passes away, right? Sometimes you just need somebody to walk with you or somebody to just cry with you.
A tree doesn't grow where it's hard and thick, does it? It grows where it's soft and green and vulnerable. So vulnerability is absolutely essential for growth. And for vulnerability, you gotta let go of those defenses, such as being right, that you developed as a child in order to protect yourself from the pain. So that's why we talk about growing pains, because vulnerability is necessary for growth. Without vulnerability, there's no growth.
Your happiness depends on the actions of others. You know, you're at mercy of things that you can't control. And that's never where I want to be. So I always want to live in, like, me and my therapist talk about, like, my higher goddess, my higher self. Like, I always want to live there, knowing that, you know, when I'm there, you can't take that away from me. That's mine. And no matter what, you can disagree with me, you can agree with me. That's not going, I'm not changing, I'm not shifting. I'm here, I'm in my higher goddess. Yeah. So I always live by, like, keep holding my happiness and not letting anyone else affect it.
What is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
Spend so much time on self-improvement that you have no time to criticize others.
Love it. That is great advice. And